I know by the time I post this video, it'll be old news, but I'm just celebrating this weather that's come up from the Caribbean. We're actually getting a lot stronger storm than I thought we would. We just, a lot of the chicken fence was laying down. We had to come out and put it in the ground better. Sheep are okay. The trees are just whipping. Problem right now is that the ground has been wet for days. The roots of the trees can be in soft dirt while heavy winds are blowing them around. This tree right here at the corner of the barn, the old barn, I could see the trunk moving all the way down near the ground. So the chance of losing trees or trees falling down is really high right now. Lost power about 20 minutes ago, maybe 30 minutes ago, so I'm over here shutting it off completely so we can put on the solar. The wind keeps gusting really high. I think the storm is supposed to stay strong for another hour and start subsiding little by little. So maybe by 2 o'clock this afternoon we might be in good shape, but right now it's about 10:30, I don't know, 10 o'clock. So far, greenhouse, one of the ropes broke, so the back wall is flapping and blowing out. The fences, we were setting up the chicken fences, they're starting to kind of lean down again. So far, nothing terrible, and I hope it stays that way. I'm watching these trees back here keep leaning. It looks like some of them are actually staying leaning. And we never hear sirens around here, but it's the second siren I've heard. It's good to know that there's people out there that take care of people that need help. Batteries are at 100%. I'm about to turn on this. So now the freezers are back on inside the house. The freeze dryer was running, so I had to empty that and put it back in the freezer. So now it's not going to freeze dry properly, but it'll still freeze dry when I run it again. I keep coming to the back of the house. It kind of blocks the weather from hitting me. I'm also looking at the trees from inside the house. I noticed there's supposed to be a big tree right here, and it's gone. So I'm gonna go take a look at that. And then up here, I can see a pine tree right in the middle of those trees that's leaning. I think I see it leaning back again. Hopefully it hasn't come loose from the ground. I was thinking it was down, but it's not. I can see that our largest broccoli has gone down. Just trying to add a little bit of humor. So this used to be a tree right here, and now here it is here. Fall on the trailer or the chicken tractor, or this chicken tractor, any of this stuff that we built. I don't guess you can see it. Here's a branch, some branches. There's the root ball is sticking up in the air there. Here's some furniture from the backyard. Here's a lid from off of Cindy's golf cart. Looks like both the campers have been okay. No trees down over there. I decided, even though the storm is still blowing, I'm gonna go take a look at the pond, see how it's doing. I hate losing that big tree. That's a 100-year-old tree probably. It's a very large oak tree. I really hate losing any of those. Everything's looking okay in here. It's mostly small trees, so I think they have a better chance of surviving storms like this. Nothing's fallen over on our trail. Some of the trees are kind of droopy and getting in the way. So I just came down the hill. I've turned around so I can get back up. The ground is just pools, and there's a little trickling fall coming down the road. Here's the pond. I'd say it's about 2 feet deeper than normal, so that it's actually getting up over the edge of the dam. So here I'm standing on the dam in about 3 inches of water. That's where it's really coming over the dam and creating rapids like you'd see in a river. I'm so glad this is not destroying the dam. So this is the stream behind our house, or behind the pond. So this is the water that's coming directly out of the pond. Hopefully all this bamboo and everything holds the dam. Here's some more on this side. It'll just come out a little bit. So the pond is gaining water from every side. This slopes down into the pond. That side slopes very much into the pond. The whole back side into the pond. The only side that flows away is just the dam that I'm standing on. And by the rapids, you can see how much water is coming in and therefore going out of the pond. So that is how much water we are gaining right now in the pond for it to be overflowing that much. That is a lot of water. That's amazing. Probably one of my biggest concerns is losing the fish. I hope all the fish are getting down in safe places in the pond where they're not going to get washed away. They didn't cost that much, but finding the fish truck to buy some more is really tough. Nobody wants to sell me fish unless their truck is just sitting right there. Down in here, obviously this is a low spot, and we're pretty protected from the wind except for the tops of these tall trees. But it sounds like a freight train when I listen up towards our house. It sounds like there's a big train going by, just like a rushing noise. So down here at this camper, I'm seeing some trees went down. A couple pine trees right here next to where the power is. You can see that this one just didn't have a lot of good roots. That one, I mean, the root ball only sticks out 12 or 18 inches from the tree trunk. Wow, I really hate this. This is such a nice tree next to the barn, and it's pulling the ground up. I don't know if you can see it, but this battery energizer is sitting a foot and a half higher off the ground because the ground is bulging and cracking. See the crack where the roots are trying to pull out and drop this tree. From this tree, you can see the root ball of that tree back there that's gigantic. It's sticking up almost 10 feet tall. That's the huge tree we lost just a little while ago. Hope it doesn't go down. I've come inside and gotten out of the weather for a little while. This is the first damage I've seen that's going to cost us money. shade cloth is torn apart. It looks like within the hour we should be able to go out in the yard and start cleaning things up. Most of the wind should be died down by then and the rain should be gone. We've just left the heavy rain and looking at the radar map, hopefully the heavy winds will leave soon. One of my special trees I've been really keeping an eye on is this chestnut tree. Right here beside the outhouse that we built, you can see it's broken off right at the top of the outhouse. I'll show you the other side. It's really noisy over here with the generator running. It's so strange the way it split and just wrapped itself down across the house. But I was getting chestnuts this year and last year, so I really enjoyed having that tree. Rico just came and filled up his water tank. They need to flush their toilets. They have no power. Everywhere I turn, there's some kind of mess. Chairs and benches blown over. And so I'm just walking around doing a little bit of everything. So now it's still cloudy, but we're getting a little bit of power coming in from the solar panels. Well, all of a sudden we're using a lot of power. A minute ago we weren't. But the battery's charged all the way back up to 100. The corner of the roof was flapping. I had to cut it off and I'll have to replace all this trim across here. That happened to us in a strong wind in the past on this side. The roofer that did this trim just really didn't secure it very well on the ends. So this one broke loose. You can see there's a big torn kink in it right here, where it was flapping back and forth, and I need to replace that piece. From up here all the way down needs to be replaced. Same on this one, from here all the way down now needs to be replaced. I'll get to it. It's a good thing I tied my ladder because I can see that the wind was gonna blow it down. I don't know what it would have hit. Might have busted a window out if I hadn't tied it on there, because the wind is still gusting really bad. Looks like some wind gusts are still blowing over our plants. That's a good spot. One thing I do like is that this soaked ground has killed a lot of grubs. You can see them floating around in the water, which that's going to be good for gardening and plants in the future to knock out a lot of the population. Lots of tomatoes on the ground, but we're at the end of the season where we were just kind of getting a few every now and then. I mean, these look great, but we're getting pretty close to pulling the plants up. The jalapenos have been kind of falling over, and the storm just really pretty much knocked them all over. That one's just barely trying to stand up. I need to get some off of it right now. We're just 2 days past the storm. We still don't have any power, but it looks like they're out here working on it. We're going to get gas to run the generator to keep the big freezer going.